Tweet @TodaySOR.
Now, as we know, many businesses have been hit hard by the impact of the coronavirus, having to shut their doors and lay off staff. But on the line now is a business owner who believes that her industry may never recover, and her own business is, she says, on the verge of collapse. Linda Jones is director and owner of the Travel Boutique in Bray in County Wicklow. Linda, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sean. Thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, you say your business has been devastated by the coronavirus. Just how bad is the current situation?
Well, I just don't think it could be any worse, Sean, than what it is. I mean, one minute you have a profitable trading company and everything's perfect, and in the space of 2-3 weeks, our whole industry is on its knees. I mean, we are in the worst situation. Every single cruise ship is grounded for the next few months. Every airline is grounded. Every border is shut. There's nowhere safe on this earth that we could send anybody on a holiday at the moment. But I think what's affected us more than any other business that's had to close, I mean, obviously we're losing our income from people coming in, buying stuff off us, being closed, but every single booking that we have done for the last year is gone. We just have to write it off. I mean, really, we cannot, as an industry, see anybody getting to travel anywhere this summer. I mean, possibly late autumn, but that's really clutching at straws. It's just not looking like it's going to be a possibility this year. So not only will we not have sales for this year, we've lost all of our sales from last year as well.
Linda,
so
how many
we're
people
on our knees?
How many people do you have working, or have you had working with you?
Well, I have 5 people working with me in my company. I'm open for the last 10.5 years. And this is unprecedented. I mean, the travel industry gets hit from every angle. You know, we've been through the financial crisis of 2009, and we've had the ash clouds, and we've had 9/11s. All these sort of events, they do affect business for a short term, but I just don't see any way out for us at this present time, because this has just absolutely brought the world to its knees. I kept saying, they can't shut the world down. They have shut the world down. There is nowhere that we can send anybody with confidence at the moment. I mean, obviously you can't go anywhere. I mean, borders are shut, but even when borders eventually start to open, it's going to take a long time for the people to really get the confidence to feel safe to have their holiday in Spain or Portugal or wherever.
But if things did improve and loosen up, and as you suggested, maybe by late autumn, say September or thereabouts, it was possible to be flying again and to be going to the mass destinations.
Yeah.
Is there no way you could survive in that kind of on that timeline?
So. I don't think so, Sean. We're just in the worst situation. I mean, it really just happened in the last 2 weeks, and we just, once all the borders and everything just seemed to shut in a matter of 2-3 days, you just couldn't keep up with it, and it meant that every single holiday was suddenly gone. So we had to just write off everything for March, April. We're now writing off May, June. We honestly don't know when to tell people that it's going to be okay to travel again.
And what about refunds? Are people looking for those, and are you giving them the refunds?
Well, people are looking for refunds, Sean, but we are in a very, very difficult situation because all of our suppliers cannot give refunds. I mean, there is just not enough liquidity there with the cruise companies, the tour operators, the airlines. They'll just go bust. They cannot hand back all this money straight away. And there are EU directives out there, but I mean, they're not designed for situations like this. This is a pandemic. It's a crisis beyond all measure, and no laws were written to take this into account.
Now, what about the rescue package that the government has put together? They're putting legislation through the Dáil today, €3.7 billion extra being spent over the next 12 weeks. Could you not get a slice of that to help keep going and paying staff?
Sean, I would actually love to know how we're going to get it. I mean, obviously, as a self-employed person, I am so grateful for the COVID-19 payment, and it is helping me and all my colleagues in the industry and every industry. We'd be on our knees altogether without that, but it's just not going to be enough for our industry. What I think we need is a government bailout. I think we're in a unique situation. We are one of the hardest hit industries, you know, that we really haven't had any coverage in the last while. It's just been about getting people home, naturally enough, and borders closing. But nobody has actually looked at the impact on the travel agents in general and what's happened then.
Have you talked to your bank, for instance, about a facility to tide you over this period?
I have, Sean. I applied straight away. I could see from the beginning of the month that things were just suddenly changing and we were going to be in trouble. And I have managed to secure a loan from the bank, but I'll have to pay that back over the next 3 years. And honestly, no matter how much I borrow, I don't know if it's going to be enough. I mean, where do you draw the line? Do you borrow 100,000, 200,000? Like, how much do you borrow to keep your business going? And people say, oh, maybe the virus will come back in the winter, or will it come back next year? Will there be another one? Like, how could we possibly survive another crisis after one the size that we're in at the moment?
I'm just looking at something that popped into our system from as we were speaking, actually, as it turns out, Linda. Deirdre Clune, MEP for Ireland South. She's reminding consumers of their right to a full refund or to change their flight in the case of airlines cancelling flights. The Ireland South MEP said EU passenger rights guarantee that any passengers who have their flights cancelled by the airline are entitled to choose between a refund or changing their flight date.
Well,
she says the rules are very clear.
Well, the rules are there, but they certainly weren't invented for situations like this. And all of the airlines, all they can do is offer credit notes and try and change bookings for people where possible. And I think the public are just going to have to be very patient with all of the agents around the country, because we've paid the money out on their behalf. We work on small margins and commissions, and we have no idea when we are ever going to receive these refunds back. And we just cannot refund every single penny. We have to be paid for our work. We've done the booking. We're processing the refunds. So it's really unlikely people are going to get full amounts back. And it could take several months for refunds to be processed. I mean, this is an absolute crisis for our industry.
OK, Linda, I can hear it in your voice. You're obviously deeply concerned and worried. Linda Jones there, director and owner of the Travel Boutique in Bray in County Wicklow.